I woke up to a smell that didn't belong, the faint mix of cheap cologne and cigarettes curling in the air, sticky with the tang of someone else's presence. My eyes fluttered open, heavy with sleep, and that's when I saw him. Another man, sprawled against the edge of the bed, his bare chest rising and falling with a slow, easy rhythm. My heart stopped, each beat hammering against my ribs, and I felt a cold knot of disbelief settle in my stomach. Then I heard the soft click of the bedroom door. I turned, half expecting it to be a trick of light, but there she was, my wife, frozen in the doorway, hand pressed against the frame. Her face went from startled to something I couldn't name, guilt, panic, maybe shame. I wanted to scream, to throw every question at her at once, but all that came out was a strangled, What is this?" She didn't answer. She just looked at me, eyes wide, as if expecting me to forgive her instantly. And in that frozen second, the world tilted, like the ground itself didn't want me to stand. It hadn't started that morning. It had been creeping in, subtle at first. Missed calls she claimed were just work. Messages she would leave open on her phone. Too quickly closed when I leaned over. Little excuses that made my chest tighten, without me realizing why. I convinced myself I was being paranoid, that I was imagining shadows in our life that weren't there. But now, staring at them both, I understood my intuition had been screaming at me for months. I remember the night she'd text me, supposedly from work or friends. The tone of her messages was light teasing, but the timing was odd. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and she always stepped out to take a call when I got home early. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I was clingy, maybe I had no right to be suspicious. But I can still feel that tiny, insistent doubt creeping up my spine whenever I replayed those moments. The man in my bed stirred, shifting lazily like he owned the room. And I felt it, the raw, searing betrayal, slicing through the remnants of every shared laugh, every goodnight kiss, every quiet morning coffee. All the little things that had felt like intimacy were suddenly sharp with dishonesty. Memories I once cherished now stabbed me, each one a testament to how deeply I had been lied to. I moved to the nightstand, fumbling for my phone, my hands shaking. She didn't try to explain, just watched, as if she feared my anger, or maybe feared losing me for good. I saw her hesitation, the way her lips trembled, and I realized that whatever she might say now wouldn't undo the damage. Then came the texts I wasn't supposed to see, the ones I found as I scrolled through her unlocked phone in a quiet, trembling panic. Simple phrases, casual enough to hide their weight. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Last night was amazing. I think he suspects nothing." Each one was a punch, and with every word, I felt myself unravel. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake her until she admitted everything. But I didn't. My hands were shaking too violently, and I felt a strange calm, cold and distant, settle over me. I realized then that I didn't just feel betrayed. I felt invisible. All the love I had poured in had been seen, but not truly valued. She finally whispered, I didn't mean for it to happen," her voice breaking. "It just happened. I didn't know how to stop it." She sounded like a child confessing, like a criminal caught in their own web. I wanted to hate her with every fiber, but a part of me still remembered her warmth, her laughter, the life we built together. That part of me hurt the most. It knew I had loved blindly. The man left without a word, leaving us in a silence thick with ruined trust. I looked at her, the woman I had promised forever to, and I felt something break irreparably. I could see her guilt, her remorse, but it didn't heal the wound. I couldn't pretend to understand, not fully. And I couldn't forgive, not then, maybe not ever. I left the bedroom, grabbing my coat. She tried to follow, to speak, to justify, but I held up a hand. "I need to think," I said, voice quiet but firm. I didn't cry, not yet, but the ache was there, a dull, unyielding pulse in my chest. Every step away from that apartment felt like a reclaiming of myself, even as the betrayal pressed heavy behind me. Outside, the air was crisp, biting, and I breathed it in like a lifeline. I realized something painful but necessary. Love alone cannot repair lies. Trust, once shattered, doesn't mend with apologies. And as much as it hurt, I had to walk away, to preserve what little dignity remained and to remind myself that I deserved more than shadows of truth and whispered deceit. I didn't know what the future held, and I didn't know if I would ever forgive her, but in that cold morning air, I felt the first flicker of strength, the kind that comes not from love or hope, but from self-respect, and in that, there was a quiet, painful sort of closure. I walked away, leaving the door and everything I thought I knew behind.